What's up, court nerds? Time to get served. It's your boy Phil. And do we have a rare one in Judge Bryant's court today? A PPO? This is Judge Manning's bread and butter. But today, Judge Bryant is dealing with two unneighborly women who are squabbling over literally inches of space in between their homes. Of course, it probably goes much deeper than that, but let's find out. Let's roll, nerds.
Or corrections on behalf of the people.
Judge, as far as the additions, deletions, or corrections, the people have none with this report.
On behalf of the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Moore does have, she did have an opportunity to review the report, Your Honor, and there are some additions she wishes to make to the report. And the court and the prosecution should have received a copy of the documents she wishes to add to the report. Your Honor, on page 6, in the health section, and in particular, the mental health section, my client wants Your Honor to know that she is involved in therapy. She meets with therapist David Coleman, who is at the Lincoln Behavioral Center. That was a document she wants to make sure the probation has. They did request that, and so she wants to make sure that the court also has a copy of it, and she does plan on forwarding it to probation as instructed. Furthermore, Your Honor, as to medical health on that same page 6, she wants Your Honor to know that she is still under the care of Dr. Melvin Murphy for a number of medical conditions, which requires her to take medications. And with respect to mental health, she is also required to take medications for her mental health, for bipolar disorder, ADHD, anxiety, borderline personality disorder, anxiety, and that's about it. As to the medications, Your Honor, we did tender to the court 2 documents, one from Farmington Drugs and Medical Supply, and the other from Davis Drugs. Those documents list the medications, the prescribed medications she needs to take for her multiple conditions. My client did submit a document verifying that she did graduate from high school, Redford High School. She did attend the American Intercontinental University last year. However, this year she has not started the term. She's trying to recover from some recent medical procedures that has impacted her ability to participate in school this particular quarter. But she does plan on resuming her studies in business. She wishes to get a degree, bachelor's degree in business. She has been...
Ms. Colbert, I'm going to interrupt you because I wasn't asking for allocution, just additions to the report. Are these still additions to the report?
Well, yes, Your Honor. Those 2 documents which list the medications are the additions, and the Redford High School diploma is an addition. The document pertaining to the American Intercontinental University, which is an addition, along with her president's list, an award she earned during those 3 quarters. And let's see, just as in support of partial proof of her income, she does have a document from the child support system. I believe I covered all the additions she wishes to make to the report, Your Honor. Other than that, everything else seems to be correct. Lastly, Your Honor, she does wish to add that she apologizes to the complainant, who happens to be her neighbor. So those are the additions we have, Your Honor.
All right. With respect to sentencing, is there anything on behalf of the people?
Yes, Judge. So looking on page 1, there is a plea agreement in this case, Your Honor, and in a plea agreement, the people did add that we would have no objection to 771 delayed sentence if Ms. Moore was eligible for that, Your Honor. Looking at the prior criminal history, looks like Ms. Moore does not have any prior felony or misdemeanor convictions. So at this time, the people will have no objection to delayed sentence, and obviously that is in the discretion of the court. Just going down to page 4, Your Honor, looks like under victim statement, probation tried to reach out to the victim, Ms. Tammy Robinson, and they couldn't get a hold of her. However, she is in person in the court. So if Ms. Robinson would like to make a victim impact statement for the court regarding this incident, I would defer to her to make that impact statement if she wants to.
Ms. Robinson, would you like to make a victim impact statement at this time?
Yes.
All right, you may.
Yes, I'm just so tired of people taking my kindness and trying to turn it to weakness. And Regina Moore, her and her daughter, I have called the police several times after the incident. She kindly keeps saying that, oh, she's sorry. She act like she handicapped or sick when she at home, not around y'all. She don't be doing it. Then she gets and come down my window. She just harass me. They assault me. All I get is police reports. Nothing else. And then when my grandbabies is over, I don't like to call the police. They tell me to call them, but Regina Moore and her daughter always, every day, just harass me. And she's always saying, like she never, this is the first time that her prosecutor saying something about her being sorry. And I have a recorder, I have video of her constantly keep harassing me, damaging my property, everything. She keep hollering, oh, you rented, I'm owning. I said, if you're renting, you still treat it like it's yours. And she constantly just keeps doing everything, her and her daughter. And I got a recorder stating that she said, oh yeah, I took a plea, but it's not over. I have a video and recorders of everything that she does. And I try to show her, I have asked for help, I cried, I begged for help. I'm not getting nowhere. And she constantly keeps doing it. Constantly. Before, back in 2016, Regina, she called herself, keep bragging, she set me up. Oh, neighbors was looking at me. I feel we was neighbors, and God say forgive. I tried that. She constantly said, oh no, I guess it's taking my time and want to turn it to weakness. So I don't know, like I say, I'm just tired. I've been a single parent for about 30 some years, and 13 of them, Regina helped actually and her daughter harass me. They have did everything to do with this constantly. And I'm just tired. I called the police. I see what they trying to do. They don't even do not get police report. I even tried PPO. I was turned down 5 times. Even when she hit me in my eye in 2021. And I couldn't get the PPO. I mean, because she comes by my bedroom window. I got videos to show. She just ate up the grass. Actually, the guy that used to cut her grass, he told me, and he retired now, he don't cut it no more, something like he don't want to do it. But he told me, Regina called him and said, come do my grass, because Tammy's looking better than mine. I didn't know we was in a competition. I didn't know that. But all the neighbors have actually got mad at me when back in 2016, I tried to be a neighbor. But Regina just want to keep on harassing her and her daughter. I have video, her daughter rolls up on my grass. and rolls out on purpose. And I'm just tired. Like my grandbaby, she happened to see when I was retrieving my cameras, and she said to the police, I said, no, baby, that didn't happen. So she's like, ooh, I don't like to call the police when they're there. And they shouldn't have to see that. And I'm just tired. I'm tired. This is too much. It's been going on too long for not to be solved.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anything else on behalf of the people? Ma'am, put your hand down. Put your hand down. Anything else on behalf of the people?
Judge, just looking at the report, I know that there was an incident where Ms. Robinson was struck by Ms. Moore. So I would defer to Ms. Robinson if she had any medical bills regarding restitution, anything she paid out of pocket if she went to seek medical treatment for that incident.
Yes, well, I'm going back and forth to the doctor for headaches and trauma with the eye. But I went to the hospital the day it happened. She had a phone and an eye watch that she hit me with.
All right.
Police.
Is there anything further?
Not from the people, Judge.
Ms. Coulthurst, anything on behalf of Ms. Moore?
Yes, Your Honor. Again, Ms. Moore does apologize to the complainant. It's unfortunate that the two adult women are having difficulty getting along. But Your Honor should know that my client was struck in the head with a baseball bat by this complainant, and that assault, felonious assault, did result in the complainant being charged with felonious assault and placed on probation for a couple of years. And so ever since then, and I believe that was around 2016-17, ever since then, Your Honor, the tension seems to have just gotten more intense. Ever since the complainant was placed on probation, she resented my client for making that complaint, and my client seemed to have suffered ever since. My client pulls into her driveway, and then there's a complaint about the tire is on the complainant's property line, and my client tries to park on, pull into her driveway, and that was when she was able to drive. She hasn't been driving because currently she's not allowed to drive, but when she was allowed to drive, Your Honor, she did her best to stay far away from the complainant's grass or the yard. Furthermore, when there are Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, taxi cabs, or other friends who come in, my client does not always have total control over how they pull up into her driveway, which is a relatively narrow driveway. It's not one of those two-car driveways. It's only one car, and it's better if your car is a very small car, like a little smart car, so that there will be no issue. And so, but it just seems as though since that felonious assault case, the two have not been able to look at each other without any unnecessary grimace or unnecessary tone of voice. I've advised my client to just ignore the complainant, and she tries very hard to do that. Her 15-year-old daughter tries very hard to ignore the complainant every time they go out to move their garbage can, to pull it to the curb, to pull it back to the house. It seems to be an issue with the complainant complaining about placing the garbage can too close to her property line. I mean, if it's just not one thing, it's another. And, my client does have some mental health challenges, anxiety, and the type of picking that's taking place with her and also her 15-year-old child is just causing her anxiety to increase, causing my client to spend more time with the therapist to try to remain stable mentally. Again, my client is respectfully requesting that you give her the opportunity to be placed on probation and allow her to continue on with her mental health treatment at Lincoln Behavioral Center in Redford. She wants to be able to continue to meet with her primary care doctor. Her therapist, David Coleman, at the Lincoln Behavioral Center, does take his time with her and assist her in managing her anger that tends to get the best of her when she feels as though she or her child are being attacked by the neighbor. And it's unfortunate, but my client has been trying very hard, Your Honor, to work through the issues with the neighbor. She wants to be a good citizen. She has been a good citizen. Her record reflects that. She's trying to overcome a large number of health challenges. The stress that she's been getting from the neighbor has caused more problems with her health, both her medical health, physical health, and her mental health. The last thing my client wants to do is continue to raise her blood pressure because of the complainant. Your Honor, we're respectfully requesting that you consider waiving as many fines and costs you're able to waive. My client is on a fixed income, and she is overwhelmed with bills. And I think that's about it for me, Your Honor. I thank you very much for the consideration.
Okay, thank you. Please excuse the interruption. Mr. Torres, can you tell me what are your intentions with respect? You said you wanted to just set it for a trial?
An in-person bench trial, and then I there and hopefully work on things.
All right. So give me one moment. I'm going to just. All right. I'm returning to Ms. Moore. Would Ms. Moore like to make a statement on her own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Moore.
Good morning, Your Honor. It is no secret, and I'm glad that Tammy did tell you that she keeps filing them PPOs against me, because when I filed my PPO against her, it was granted, and I know your time is limited. And as far as me being so-called disabled, I had to compile this, which is just part of my medical file. And I know you read about the abuse and everything, but the PO officer did not put in there that my mother was an alcoholic, my father was a heroin addict, my stepfather was a cocaine addict, and I was beaten from the age of 5 to 17. I was raped at 5, but he also left out that I was raped by 3 men at gunpoint at 15. My daughter is 15. Miss Robinson, the thing she's talking about, the grass. Now, I'm not going to say that over the years I have not done that, but I would like to take this time to personally apologize to Miss Robinson on behalf of Ashley Brown. Miss Robinson tried to get a PPO on my daughter, Ashley Brown, who moved out because she didn't want to live next to her. And then she asked us, like, my car, the reason that I have not been there to appear in person is that my car was in the shop and I was in an accident. That's what was going on with that. But the reason that I have what's called an invisible disease, which is fibromyalgia, and it exasperates the other condition. But me and that doctor are no longer together. I do have tons of paperwork, but it would just be pointless. And I want to apologize to the court for wasting their time. And I would also like to state that no, I did not hit her with my Apple Watch or my phone. My Apple Watch cost $600. And this arm just got operated on, and I can't even stretch to clean my house. I'm in the process now of looking for a home care aide, but because I was in a lawsuit, that was the reason that I couldn't work with the house attorney, because she wanted to do mental. And I don't believe that it is about the grass, because she stated she called the police on me several times. Then she called the police in the middle of this and said that I had a gun. I live on a main street. So sometimes you have to turn fast because I live on Evergreen. And the people, unfortunately, it's an impoverished neighborhood. So they don't take their garbage cans up. People will drive around the side of you, and one person already knocked off my mirror. So I just try to get in there. But I do have a solution to this problem, which is really a civil case. And Miss Robinson knows that it's a civil case. And all the money that I have spent on this case, I could have done it. But I contacted a property line person, and he said, if you win, you just won 10 spaces, 10 inches of grass. And if you lose, then you just lost a whole lot of money and the grass. And so my ex-husband, who I was in a domestic violent relationship, was living here, and she did call the police. And the thing was, he doesn't live here anymore, because yesterday he tried to assault me, but he is undergoing.
Ms. Moore, you are giving me a little too much information.
Okay. But what I want to, like, as far as a mediation and an agreement, you know, I have been pulling over to the side, but when I pull my car all the way over so that I'm not on her grass, then I can't get my garbage cans out on my side. And it is not the side of her house, Your Honor. It is the side of my house. And 75% of it is dirt. So what I would like, first of all, for her to apologize to my 15-year-old daughter for calling her a bitch and a hoe. My ex-husband was outside. Our garbage run at 7. It was 6:50. We was late. So
Ms. Moore, I don't want to know about that. Ms. Moore, I don't want to know.
Okay. Well, let me just say this. My thing is, you told us not to talk to each other. But when we went to move the garbage cans, Miss Robinson called me and my daughter bitches and hoes and said that I was a bitch and I knew that I could have moved that damn car. But Miss Robinson doesn't drive. And so I have instructed the Uber drivers because I still can't drive, even though I have not had the car for 6 months. And then the car was in the driveway 1 hour. She called the police. Then she egged the police on to keep beating on my
You're
door.
not going to be able to tell me about everything that has happened.
I know.
All I want to
I'm
know
just saying that she broke
Ms.
the order.
Moore, please do not interrupt me.
I'm sorry. I'm
You're
sorry.
not going to be able to tell me about everything that happened. You're not. I don't
There-
have enough time. So
I
I
know.
need you to just hit some
Okay,
important
so
points.
mainly,
Ms. Moore, you keep on interrupting me. You
okay.
keep on interrupting me. I
I'm
want you to just hit some important points because
okay.
okay.
Here's my
What is your point?
okay. My point is, the last time we was here, you said if I said anything to her, anything about the garbage, good morning, whatever, I was going to jail for 93 days. Well, you said, and her too. Well, when we took the garbage cans down, she was yelling, calling us bitches and hoes. So that to me is like she was talking to me. And if I got to do 93 days and she really talked to me first, then I feel it's only fair that she gets what Your Honor said, because I didn't do nothing to her. And a garbage can is not going to hurt the grass. And she put my life in danger when she called the police because my ex-husband has a temper. And I did not want to wake him up to move the car because she called the police on his car too. On grass, people can't see, Your Honor. And I am a Christian woman, and I do forgive Miss Robinson. And I think that Miss Robinson and me have more in common than she realized, because she never bothered to talk to me. And I don't want to beat up a beat down woman, because as you know, I have been a beat down woman all my life. But I bought this house so I could live after my daughter, who will be 16 in July, turns 18, and then I lose $2,000 of my income. I am sorry that Miss Robinson did not have the advantages of having a wealthy family to do schooling. I really went to St. Cecilia and St. Martin de Porres. I had to do 1 year at
You're telling me a lot of stuff, Miss Moore.
No,
You went all the way back to high school.
No, I was just saying, like, it's different because I went to public school and I went to private school. I'm just saying that the difference in the way that they teach things.
It don't matter what school you went to as to
it doesn't.
going on
Okay.
in this case.
Well, what about the other stuff? Because 16.
How long do you want me to take on your sentencing? How long are you asking me to take?
He said 12 months, and I believe
No, I'm talking about how much time do you want me to take today? You saying?
Oh no.
I mean,
I just wanted, because I had called the court. I just wanted to tell you that and apologize myself. And if I am causing Miss Robinson the pain she describes, then I apologize. And to clear up the it ain't over part, it's because I am suing her for harassment. I also have several videos and tapes. And, you know, she hit me in my head with a metal bat. But I still forgive her because she doesn't have anyone. Her sons don't visit her grandkids. She's over there alone.
Again, how you telling me all this unnecessary stuff? Why do I care if her sons visit the grandkids or whatever? I don't care.
No, visit her.
But why do I care about who is visiting her, Miss Moore? I'm trying to get yes. Listen to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to get a grasp of who you are. I don't care about who is visiting this complaining witness. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to interrupt right now because Miss Moore is. I'm done, Your Honor. That much time, and then she keep on talking over me and whatnot and interrupting me. So I did call in the case manager to speak with Ms. Moore based upon the recommendation in the probation pre-sentence investigation report. So I am going to send Ms. Moore to a breakout room with Ms. Taylor, and so that you all can discuss the recommendation that's listed on page 2, and the last box that is checked. And then after you come out, which I have a feeling you're gonna have to just ask some specific questions, Ms. Taylor, because she got a whole big thick binder, and I don't have time for you to be in the breakout room for 4 hours, and you don't have time either. So Ms. Coulthurst, I'll send you as well, and then we'll come back out, and then I'll say my what my sentencing is based in part on Ms. Taylor's recommendation. Ma'am, in the courtroom, I don't remember your name, but please have a seat, and then we'll get back to the sentencing. All right, you're welcome. All right, I'm gonna send you all to breakout room number 15. All right.
Few moments later.
Okay, I'm back on the record with case number 21-454-8501. All right, Ms. Taylor, what is your assessment, or what is the result of your conversation with respect to Ms. Moore?
So just looking at Ms. Moore's background information and from our conversation, she would be eligible for our program, but Ms. Moore heavily emphasized that she does not want to participate in specialty court. She do have a few things that I know if she come over, she could no longer do. For example, we don't allow marijuana or a medical marijuana card in our program. We don't allow narcotics.
I don't allow narcotics either. But
prescribed medications more so. There will be paperwork she would have to provide for that. But Ms. Moore said multiple times she's not interested. She does not want to do specialty court. She hired an attorney to help her case when she was presented with this offer the first time. She reported, if anything, she'd rather do her jail time than to come over. So she was not receptive to the program.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this question. What do you think about whether she needs to come over to the program?
I will say that she reported to me she's already participating in services in regards to her diagnoses and things of that nature. So if she is already participating in services and is active in those services and doing that on her own, she can continue doing that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So the reason I asked those questions to Ms. Taylor is because I could involuntarily sentence Ms. Moore to the specialty court, because it's one of the most ridiculous things that, in my mind, that if a person is in need of specialty court services and then they just say, no, I don't want it. Like a person who really needs it, they may not know that they need it. The other thing is, I think it's just a sad situation that an individual would say, I would rather go to jail than get the help I need. I think that's a sad situation. Number 3, I think this whole thing is a sad situation. I think it's ridiculous that neighbors have PPO requests against each other, that neighbors are not understanding of stuff about, driving up on my grass and blah, 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 and whatnot. I mean, I was telling my landscaper that I want to go and get some of those really big, huge boulders, because the way that my house is situated and stationed, a lot of times people might turn around in my driveway or, do different things. And then they dig a little hole right there at the edge of my grass, and it doesn't, make it for aesthetically pleasing. but I've never cursed out a neighbor for doing that. I've never said to a neighbor, don't pull your trash can on my grass if it was, a necessary situation. We live in the city of Detroit. Our driveways are very narrow. We live in the city of Detroit where most of our driveways are very narrow and the houses are, sufficiently close to each other. We don't live in the, country. We don't live in the, in some suburban communities where the houses might be a little further apart. So if not any place else, I think it's so important that in the city, people are neighborly. People show themselves neighborly. And then at a certain point in our lives, we cannot continue to blame the things that we went through as children, as young adults. We cannot continue to blame those things on our behavior. Those are things that, while they happen to us, because we all have a story. And if I sat on here and told my story, your mouth might drop wide open. But instead of all of this foolishness that's going on my Zoom, I've decided that I was going to be a lawyer and then a judge, that I wasn't going to let those things of my past stop me from accomplishing my goals. So whatever we've been through, whatever you have been through, it is no excuse for being unneighborly. And it sounds to me like both of you have been very unneighborly. I've never had a neighbor that I did not get along with. I've never had a neighbor that I wouldn't trust with my phone number. I've never had a neighbor that I wouldn't trust with the key to my home. I've never had a neighbor that I would not trust to say, yep, I'm out of town. Can you go get my packages? Can you put them in the garage? I've not had a neighbor. And I'm thankful for that. But in order to have good neighbors, you must show yourself neighborly. Now, that's not to say that people aren't dealing with mental health issues, because I'm well aware and I am in staunch favor of people dealing with their mental health issues. But what we don't do is use them as excuses for bad behavior. You're not the only one that got raped. You're not the only one that's been molested. You're not the only one whose parents did not take good care of them. You're not the only one. Not the only one that need to make sure they have a roof over their head. You're not the only one. So we're going to stop using our situations for excuses for bad behavior. I listened to you tell me how much of a Christian you are, but those curse words sure rolled off your tongue with ease. And I'm not making any judgments and saying that Christians don't curse. But what I'm saying is, it just rolled off your tongue with real ease. Like you didn't have no problem saying it. And all I'm saying is, that means just because you are a Christian, obviously don't mean you can't use curse words. So the fact that your neighbor is cursing at you, I got a good feeling that you might also been cursing at her. Y'all having these cross complaints for PPOs. I don't know what I would do if my neighbor, wanted to put a PPO out on me. I don't know what I would do. I do know that I would take an introspective look and say, why in the world does my neighbor want a PPO? We live right here so close together. I don't even have to speak to my neighbor if I don't want to. Like I could just come in my house and leave out my house, go in and out my house. I don't even have to speak to my neighbor. So how is it that all this discord can happen among neighbors who I don't even have to speak to? I don't have to say anything to. I can just ride in my own home and ride out of my home. Right? I can just ride in and ride out. I can just, if the car is in the way, when it's time to take out the trash, and I already know that I don't have a neighbor who would forgive me for riding on their grass, then how about I just won't pull my trash out at that moment? How about I'm just gonna miss the trash for that week? How about I'm gonna just say, y'all, we gotta be low on the trash because the trash can is already full, because when it was time to take out the trash, the ex-husband was in the driveway and I couldn't ask him to leave. There are ways to live peacefully in situations where people don't get along. But the two of you, you don't know how to live peacefully. The two, it's no more talk. It's my turn. I gave everybody a chance to say what they wanted to say. Let you talk longer today than I have let people talk in a long time. But this is ridiculous. I'm going to say it to both of you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you cannot get along with your exact next door neighbor. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't get along with two people that live on the side of me. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't get along with two people that live directly in front of me. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. Because those are the four people that I definitely just try to make sure that I have a good relationship with. Those are the people that I'm trying to make sure I can say, hey, I'm gonna be out of town for a few days. I'm the person who almost did not move from a home because I said I won't be able to find neighbors like the neighbors I have. I don't want to move from this place because my neighbors are so amazing. But I have been blessed that wherever I go, I have great neighbors. And I'm thinking a part of that is because I am a great neighbor. A part of that is because I don't fuss at my neighbor when they back up into their driveway or when they do something that infringes upon my property line. I don't go out there cursing them out and saying, get off my grass. Now, I have had to say to my neighbor, now neighbor, you know, you're responsible for these bushes because that's on your property line. So the bushes are, you know, you got to keep the bushes cut because when I'm driving into my driveway, if you let the bushes get overgrown, they're going to scratch up my vehicle. Now, there have been times where my neighbor has not cut the bushes in what I consider a timely fashion. And you know what I did? I just said, son, when you do my grass, clip them bushes over there. I didn't go curse them out and say, you know, you're supposed to do the bushes because they scratching up my car. Then when I clipped the bushes, my neighbors who are good neighbors came and said, I'm sorry, we've been so busy. We didn't clip the bushes. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Do you need us to pay for anybody that clipped the bushes? Oh no, it's good. My son did that for me. You all are horrible neighbors. Y'all are horrible neighbors. And you need to stop being a horrible neighbor. And I don't know if you said something to her about being a renter. That's mean. That's so unnecessarily mean, because who cares? Somebody might want to say you dumb for being a homeowner because you the one got to bear all of the burden of the home. Home ownership is a choice, but it's not something to, oh, if you're not a homeowner, then blah, blah, blah. I keep on saying I want a landlord. I want a landlord I can call when my bathroom sink overflows. I want a landlord that I can call when some stuff is going wrong in my home. So that's nothing to be embarrassed about, not being a homeowner. Some people don't want to buy a home. A home makes you have to stay right there where you living. I might want to just float about the country. I might not want to be tied down to a home. I don't know why you would even know. I don't know why any person would have to comment on my status as it relates to my home, whether I'm a tenant or a homeowner. That's not your business. So I just want to let you all know I listened to you all this morning. I let you speak. I let you tell me what you wanted me to know. And I think it's horrible. I think both of you all have engaged in some horrible neighbor behavior. And I want to, if I could sentence to good neighbor behavior, I think I would sentence both of you and your daughter or your children or whatever the case may be. All right. So now to the sentencing. She has rejected the specialty court. And Miss Taylor, I don't want to hold you. So what I want you to tell me is, what about Miss Wing? What's her situation?
Yes, Your Honor. After speaking with Miss Wing, same thing, she does qualify for our program. I'm not sure if you were aware, she did mention to me that she currently has breast cancer and will be undergoing radiation very soon. She has an appointment actually Thursday, and she'll be doing radiation 3 times a week, which may be a barrier to some of the things that she'll be required to do on our side. A specialty court is more hands-on than regular probation. So I just wasn't sure if you were aware of that, and she wanted me to let you know that, but she does qualify for the program.
Okay. And okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So if I need you again, I'll have Mr. Flanagan call you. Thank you so much for
No problem.
hanging with us a little bit this morning. I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Call me if you need me.
Okay, I will. All right, so with respect to Ms. Moore, the court is going to accept the recommendation for probation for an 18-month probationary period. And that will put us, let's see, 12 months would be May. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that will put us on November the 1st of 2024 for the 18 months. However, she will be eligible for early discharge after 9 months, according to the legislation. All right, so she would be eligible for early discharge. And then court is going to impose the following conditions. Let me also say, one of the reasons I refer people to the specialty courts is because over in the specialty courts, grace and mercy just blooms and blossoms. It just blooms, it blossoms, it overflows, right? But in Judge Bryant's courtroom, grace and mercy, it kind of hang out a little bit, but then it gets tired and real quick, and then it'll pack up and leave. Right. So I don't have the resources that they have in specialty court. I don't have as much patience as they have in specialty court. I don't have as much grace as they have in specialty court. And there is not as much mercy as they have in specialty court. So please know that if you're going to stay in my court, we treating you like you regular, like this is what we're doing. Okay. So violations. So while you said I would rather go to jail than go to specialty court, you could go to jail and specialty court. You could go to jail and do probation. Exactly. Yeah, this is a misdemeanor. It is punishable by up to 93 days in the Wayne County Jail and or up to 2 years probation and or up to $500 in fines plus costs. I could do all 3 of those things. The fact that you hired a lawyer didn't mean you weren't going to go to specialty court. That was your choice to hire the lawyer. And then your lawyer asked me, and everybody has a right to hire a lawyer. So I'm not even making any statement about the fact that you hired a lawyer. That's not what I'm making a statement. Lawyer was asking me about reducing your costs, and then you told me you wouldn't hit your neighbor with your watch because it costs $600. I don't even have a $600 Apple Watch, and my salary is public knowledge. Everybody know how much I make. I make a pretty good living doing this government job. I want to make more because I can't be rich doing this government job. I want to make more, but I make a pretty decent living doing this government job. I don't have no Apple Watch. I don't have no $600 Apple Watch. So just know that that's why sometimes you should limit what you say, because your lawyer on the one hand saying she don't have no money, and on the other hand, she's saying she got $600 Apple Watches that she think enough of not to hit her neighbor with the Apple Watch. Now, she might have had to hit her with a regular watch, but she didn't hit her with no Apple Watch. Okay. So the court is going to impose the following conditions of probation. You shall not violate any criminal law of any governmental unit. You must not leave the state without consent of the court. You must make a truthful report to probation on a monthly basis. And you must notify probation of any change of your address, phone number, or employment status. You must pay the following fines, costs, and fees: $210 mandatory cost, a $500 fine, no restitution,
$35 per month in oversight fees. For the total of 18 months, the oversight fees would be $630. However, of course, if she is discharged early, if you are discharged early, then those oversight fees will be prorated. Court is going to impose a $35 assessment fee, pre-sentence investigation fee. The total fines, costs, and fees. $1,375. You do have the duration of probation to pay that amount. And then she was saying, you know, she got to keep her house because in a few years, she's going to be, you know, her income is going to decrease based upon the sources of her income. And I'm thinking that Apple Watch is something good to get rid of. That's probably something good to get rid of. And just put that money in the bank so that okay. And then you shall not use or possess any illegal substances. You shall not use or possess any marijuana without a valid medical marijuana card. Can't imagine that there's not some interaction between this weed she's smoking and the pills she's taking. That's a lot of stuff. So somebody, medical marijuana, you know, when you go to the pharmacy and they give you your prescriptions, they always will advise you of drug interactions, right? Nobody's asking anybody, but are you smoking weed? Do you have a medical marijuana card? And so, yeah, she probably want to run that by the real doctor because I'm sure they are not the ones that prescribed her that medical marijuana card. You shall not use or possess any opiates without a valid prescription and letter of explanation from the doctor. You shall not consume any alcoholic beverages because if you do, they're going to interact with all that medicine that you're taking. You shall not drive without a valid license. You shall attend 12 weeks of anger management through eVay. You shall not have any contact with the complaining witness. So again, y'all gonna have to learn how to live peacefully as neighbors. Just stop talking to each other. Like what y'all talking about? What you got to say to me? And why you got to call me out my name and stuff? I don't know, but just stop talking to each other and just live at your house, and then you live at your house. All right, the court is going to order that you continue in mental health treatment. I heard her say that she didn't have a relationship with that doctor anymore. So I don't know, but she has to continue with mental health treatment. And then, and she has to provide proof that she is in mental health treatment. Otherwise, I'm going to involuntarily send her to mental health treatment court. I'm going to involuntarily send her to mental health treatment court. And then if she does not go, then she is going to get 93 days in the Wayne County Jail because that's what the sentence is going to be. So she needs to re-enroll in mental health treatment. She will submit to urinalysis once a month. And she's going to come back for review to me September the give me 1 second. I need to look something up. All right, we're gonna come back for review. Oh, I'm off. Let's do September 13th will be the first review at 10 a.m. We will mail a copy of the court's order to the Evergreen Road address, and probation will contact you at the phone number ending in 1677. Anything further with respect to this matter?
Not from the people, Judge.
Your Honor, is the sentence pursuant to MCL 750-771.1?
So here's the problem with that. What I will say is this. I will say, so it's going to be on a regular probation form, Mr. Flanagan. However,
Okay.
I will say that if Miss Moore, so let me write this on my sheet. If she completes probation within within 12 months, so she's eligible for early discharge at 9 months. If she needs an extension like up to 12 months, that's fine, but a delayed sentence cannot be greater than 12 months. So she has to complete it within 12 months. If she completes within 12 months, then yes, it will be a delayed sentence. So I will say it's delayed sentence contingent upon her completing it within 12 months. If she goes beyond the 12 months, then it can't be a delayed sentence, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. And then if she needs any of that, any of the court's fines, costs, and fees transposed into community service, we can address that at the first review. If she's finding it difficult to pay and she wanted to be some to be converted to community service, we can address that at the first review, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. Anything further?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Ms. Ritter? Oh, did you already say nothing?
I did, Judge.
Okay, then we're all set. Everyone have a great day and stay safe and be neighborly. Be neighborly, or just don't say anything to each other. And if somebody is riding up on your thing, take some of that money and just go and get like some of them big decorative, little boulders so that the people won't ride on your grass, or put a little fence. I don't know, but just be neighborly. Man, let me say this. It would be a shame for you to go to jail, because that's not what we do. Now, let me say this to you. This is a misdemeanor. No. Listen, ma'am, stop it. See, and that's part of the problem. Roll your eyes and neck at me one more time, and you might go behind that gray door that you could see over there by my clerk. And let me tell you what's behind that gray door. It's the detention center. I'm not real sure what's going on.
But I'm letting her know I wasn't rolling my eyes.
Just don't respond.
Miss Ritter, you might need to call. I'm not real sure why she is talking in court like this, but I'm gonna just say this right here. I'm not your neighbor. I'm gonna say that to you. I'm not your neighbor. And you say the wrong thing to me and you will end up in jail. And maybe if the court could maybe send you to some classes too, y'all will get along better. I don't need any affirmation, Ms. Moore, because you wrong as 3 left feet as well. Now, I've already said y'all both wrong. So you need to learn how to take some look internally at your behavior. Because what I'm hearing today, I would never have said to any of my neighbors. You letting somebody else determine your behavior. You letting somebody else determine how you act. Somebody do you wrong, and now y'all out here fighting and whatnot. So you can go ahead and one of y'all end up in jail and then in prison if you want to. It don't take much to be neighborly. It don't take much. All right, we're all set. Everyone have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you. Likewise, Your Honor. Wish you and staff a very pleasant day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you. All right, I'm ready on wing, and then I ain't gonna.
And there it was. We knew this case would spark some kind of reaction from all parties involved, including Judge Bryant. But once again, she proves how caring, and in this case, neighborly, she is, and lets these ladies know how important it is to love thy neighbor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, set your notifications to all so you never miss these fantastic clips. I'm your boy Phil, and you've been served.